Kevin Stefanski, former coach of the Cleveland Browns, has been fired primarily for sabotaging Shedeur Sanders all season long. Let's recap. Training camp. Kevin Stefanski made absolutely no attempt whatsoever to develop his first-year quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, during training camp. He didn't give him any significant reps and no first-team reps, so therefore, Shedeur Sanders didn't even have a fair opportunity to compete for the starting job. They go with Joe Flacco out of training camp, which I can understand. Joe Flacco is a veteran Super Bowl winning quarterback, and you have two rookies in the room, so you go with Joe Flacco out of training camp. But then when the Joe Flacco experiment fizzles out, they go to Dylan Gabriel. He plays okay, nothing spectacular, but it's not until week 11 when Dylan Gabriel suffers a concussion that they throw Shedeur Sanders out there with no preparation, no first team reps, nothing, and he plays terrible. Deion Sanders had to take a day off from work, travel to Cleveland, Ohio, go to the facility so he could see Kevin Stefanski face to face and figure out what in the world is going on here. Deion Sanders, after the game, had to meet with the Haslam family so he could look them eye to eye and figure out what in the world is going on here. Kevin Stefanski put his rookie quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, into an NFL game with the wrong plays on his wristband. How sabotaging is that? Kevin Stefanski thought it was a great idea whenever he saw Shedeur would put together an impressive drive, get him into the red zone, maybe a TD scoring drive. He did this a lot on two-point conversions. He would do this weird wildcat offense where he took Shedeur off of the field. Those decisions right there cost the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders at least 2 wins this season. Now, the Rookie of the Year award is not just about stats. I think it's more so about impact, narrative, having big moments on the field as a rookie. Who had a bigger impact? Who switched the narrative about them more? Who had bigger moments as a rookie than Shedeur Sanders this season? Shedeur Sanders was the only moment. When it comes to rookies in the NFL this season, Shedeur Sanders was the only moment. He was the only one we were talking about. But let's look at the stats. Let's look at the analytics. Shedeur Sanders had 1,400 passing yards this season, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He completed 120 out of 212 throws. That gives him a completion rate on the season of about 56.5, and I don't think that's great. He also had 1 rushing touchdown. I don't think that's great, but overall, I think it's pretty good. Especially, it's much better than they expected, right? Definitely a lot of room for improvement, but this is the Rookie of the Year award, not the Pro Bowl award. All of the rookies are going to have room for improvement. He also had a game with 4 touchdowns, 365 yards passing, 29 yards rushing, which earned him the Rookie of the Week award for Week 14. Tyler Shugg from the New Orleans Saints. Who that? Who a lot of people were considering to be the favorite for this year's Rookie of the Year award. Let's look at his stats. Tyler Shugg had 2,365 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, and 3 rushing touchdowns. That's pretty good. Tyler Shugg had 6 interceptions on the season, but Tyler Shugg played in and started 11 total games this season. That's compared to the 7 games that Shedeur Sanders started. I don't include that Dylan Gabriel concussion game, but he started in 7 games. Neither one of them, Tyler Shugg or Shedeur Sanders, played great this Sunday. They are rookies, but in the clutch, Shedeur Sanders showed up and showed out another flash of greatness, a walk-off scoring drive to win the game. I'm not going to say that Shedeur Sanders outplayed Joe Burrow. I'm not going to say it because it's not true. But I will say that Shedeur Sanders played just as good as Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow is a guy. Don't get it twisted. There was no rookie in the NFL who was under more scrutiny and pressure than Shedeur Sanders this season. And let's be honest for a moment. Did Shedeur Sanders not do better than they expected? Did Shedeur Sanders not do better than they projected? Shedeur Sanders produced. Shedeur Sanders showed flashes of greatness on multiple occasions this season. And now that the season is over, I respect the Cleveland Browns for firing Kevin Stefanski. That was the correct decision. I think the narrative behind Shedeur is starting to shift in a positive direction. So I hope that the Cleveland Browns prioritize Finding a quality head coach and getting him in the building with Shedeur, a head coach who's going to continue to develop Shedeur, a head coach who's going to take the time and get Shedeur Sanders actually prepared for next season, a head coach who's going to help Shedeur Sanders take the next step in his NFL career because the potential is there. And also, I believe that the only reason that Shedeur Sanders is not going to win the Rookie of the Year award for this season is because of Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski successfully sabotaged Shedeur Sanders. I think the NFL should award Shedeur the award anyways because he had to overcome Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns and still put on a quality show for the NFL. While I do not think that Shedeur will win the Rookie of the Year award, I think he should, but I respect anyone who disagrees.